2022 is here, and I'm back after about a week away, which I took for a variety of reasons, most predominantly of which was my mental health. Kind of took a little bit of a dive right before New Year's, so love that for me, but it was also to sort of help put a gap between last year's content and this year's content. And hopefully that gap proves to be like a quality seal so that we only get better. So yeah, since this is the first video of the year, I thought it only fitting that we have a look at my 2022 New Year's resolutions. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, if you haven't seen one of my resolutions videos before, I did one at the beginning of each month last year, unless that particular day was a pagan Sabbath. Otherwise it was the second video, but you can go back and have a look if you want to. If you don't, I'm going to lay it out here for you here anyway. Basically, and there are links in the description below, but there's this concept called the four wealths, which consist of your like financial wealth, your social wealth, your like your time wealth, and then your like health and fitness sort of wealth. It's usually described as like your physical wealth, but I think of health as being more multifaceted than just physical health. And then within each of those four, I break them down into 3 separate categories, giving me 12, which is a kind of, spiritually and magically powerful number. So it's the nice sweet spot. So yeah, there's also 4-card tarot reading that just happens to use relationships and like social interactions, like interpersonal interactions, career, and like your time, and like where it's spent and stuff, your intrapersonal relationship, whichever one of those intra, I can't remember which one's which one's outer. Regardless, your interactions with other people and then your interactions with yourself. And then the 4th one ends up being your finances. So they represent the 4 wealths in and of themselves, which is kind of cool. So yeah, with that little explainer out of the way, here are my 2022 New Year's resolutions. So in our social resolutions, which I like to call my foundation, because it's really sort of where you want to start. You want to start with, who am I bringing with me into the new year? Like who's, and it kind of blends into like time and some elements of like your health and your finances and stuff, so it really does blend into all others. But who are you bringing with you? Who are you going to be spending time on, money on, effort on? Who's going to be occupying your mind space and your, who are you going to be willing to help carry emotional baggage, all that sort of stuff. Who are you bringing with you? And I see 3 different levels here. I see a romantic, I see a platonic, and then there's the familial. And familial can be whatever family means to you. It doesn't have to mean strictly genetics. So for me, the romantic one. I'm prioritizing myself. I'm open this year. I'm not as closed off this year as I was last year. Last year was kind of like a strict, like, I'm going to try not to think about that because I need to work on this steaming dung heap of a dumpster fire. I need to sort all this crap out, put it in bags, and just, you know, put all my stuff together. And I feel I've done that pretty well last year, so I want to sort of keep going forward with that, but where I'm not really, like last year I wasn't really looking for a relationship. This year I'm open to one, but I'm not like actively seeking one. So we'll see how that goes, but you know, if I can come out the other end not needing antidepressants, that'd be nice. If I can come out not needing antidepressants, and better yet, not needing to take melatonin some nights to get to sleep, that would be amazing. So that's the goal. That's the goal there. For family, I'm obviously moving, so family's going to be less this family, that family, this family. Why did my frame slip? Look at us, aren't we all beautiful? That's my family. Yeah, instead of it being that family, it's going to be extended family, which is really cool. So I have an aunt and some cousins, and like their partners and stuff, their kids, all that sort of stuff. They all live about an hour south of Sydney, so fingers crossed. On weekends, when I don't have mountains of homework, I may be able to go and have dinner with them, or it's gonna be so cool. I can't wait. It's honestly one of the things I'm looking forward to the most, being able to actually spend some time with them and hang out and stuff. I think that'd be really cool. I also want to start looking a little bit more into my own family history. So that's going to be the more sort of measurable family resolution. So yeah, and there is also a little like personal documentary. I wanted to make it last year and I just got lazy. So we're doing it this year, and I want to try and get in to filming it as soon as possible, because the due date is sometime in November. I can't remember the date exactly, but yeah, little personal documentary just for my family. Hopefully it turns out good. And then for friends, again, I'm moving to Sydney. I'm starting I'm starting a university course, which means I'm going to have other people in my class also starting a university course, which means, yay, new friends with a common interest. So that's gonna be really cool. I'm looking forward to that a lot, actually, because kind of don't have friends here at the moment, like at all. It's fun times, but I've only got just over if I'm calculating correctly, I've only got just over a week left before I no longer have a contract at the place that I'm currently working at, which means that I've got just over a week before I can start in earnest looking at moving to Sydney, which is fun. Means that I can actually start like applying for places, being like, hey, yeah, no, I can come down on like after this date, and we can talk, and I can have a look through the apartment or whatever, like. So yeah, fun times. Time. For this one, obviously, as I mentioned before, this is sort of like the career and like where you spend your time sort of one. Obviously, what do you do with your time? Like, what do you do? Is usually a question about like, what's your job? But like, what do you do? I watch TV in my free time. Time is in that phrase. So it, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all about where you spend your time. So the 3 parts that I break this down into are work, education, and hobbies, like free time, downtime, whatever you want to call it. So as far as working is concerned, an actual like occupation sort of stuff, probably some sort of a casual job, potentially like a retail sort of thing. Definitely not hospitality. Not doing it. Can't do it. The stresses of hospitality on top of the stresses of university, I'm not even gonna subject myself. I'm not even going to subject myself. Because again, if I can end up not needing to take antidepressants, that would be great. Working in hospitality is a surefire way to need them, because I haven't needed them in all of my retail roles. I start working in hospital roles, and all of a sudden, it's sitting. So, like, clearly there's something about hospitality that just doesn't mesh with me. Can't do it to myself. So, probably some sort of a casual job in a retail position while I study, and I'll be there for like 3 years. So, I'm hoping that I'm able to sort of, you know what I mean? Like, surely. But yeah, so that's that one. And there's really no, like, I don't mind working in a grocery store, I don't mind working in a department store, I don't mind working in, you know, like, even if we are like super specific, like a bookstore or a toy store or whatever, like I don't care. Just give me a job where I can, you know, where I always have something to do and can earn a little extra of this, because that's obviously going to help for the financial resolutions as well. For my education, complete my first year. Wow, that was hard. Let's make it a little bit more measurable. We're going to try and have a 90. I'm going to give myself like a 5% margin of error for being punctual. But like, you know, so bare minimum 95% on time, if not a little bit early. Because obviously I want to be putting my best foot forward. This is the first year. I want to be like showing like, yeah, no, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Here I am and I'm ready to study. Let's do this. I had a thought and it's gone. Window's right there and it just flew out of it. It's closed, but the thoughts are not confined by physical objects. I don't know what I was gonna say. We're gonna try and be punctual. and we're going to try and hand our assignments in on time, and it came back to me. And somewhere between their expectations and my expectations, we want to fit in this space somewhere, as far as quality is concerned. So that's that one. And then the third and final one for this section is my free time, the things that I will do for fun. Obviously, there's all of my socials. I do enjoy making social media content, so like that's just gonna be like an added bonus to having other people who are also creative. Hopefully they want to join me in my videos and don't make me feel weird about vlogging like people in this town have. It's kind of what's been the major thing about my social anxiety, is I want to do this because I enjoy doing this, and other people make me feel weird about it. So I'm hoping in the city, one, that the people that don't know me just assume I'm a tourist filming everything, and two, the people that do are like, hell yeah, chuck us in, we'd like to be on your YouTube video, sure, why not? I only got 15 subscribers, but hey, if I start making more engaging content, maybe that'll change. Who knows? So yeah, that's sort of what I want to have there, but then also at the same time, I want to sort of have more experiences this year. I want to go see more like live shows, whether that's a comedian, concerts, plays, going to festivals and events, because God knows Sydney's always having a party of some kind. Just trying to think, like conventions and expos, like there's so many things that I'm gonna be able to just go and do, and I kind of want to make the most of that. I can't go drinking at the moment, like still, I can't go drinking because I'm still on my epilepsy medication, so I might as well live it up in these other ways and just like start living my best nerd pagan life, you know what I mean? Why not? For my health, both physical and mental, and like spiritual, and there's lots of facets, alright? We're breaking it down into 3 main categories, being physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, because mental and emotional are very closely tied aspects of health. You can have an emotional breakdown because of a mental illness, for example. And I mean, a mental illness, like there's not really any emotional illnesses, you know what I mean? And yet a mental illness, like depression, is generally regarded as just being sad. It's obviously much more than that, but like, that's the taboo around it. It's just like being sad. So that's why they're tied together. For physical health, I want to establish better routines, and I'm going to try and do that before AFTRS starts, which means that I would like to be moved out at the end of this month, early next month, sort of situation. Like that's, we got a time frame there, right? Measurable. Trying to make some smart goals here. So that's the wish. Whether or not that pans out remains to be seen, but that's the wish. So yeah, so that'll be a thing, I guess. But like, I want to try and develop better eating habits, which, having to buy all my own groceries, I'm gonna have to prioritize things like buy meals and less buy snacks. So I think that's gonna kind of help a little bit, you know, financial limitations and whatnot. And then like better sleeping habits, which can come back to like having a set time for dinner. and then knowing that, like, okay, well, like 2 hours after that, I'll take my melatonin, and an hour after that, I'm out, so that I can be up by a certain time. And part of the other reason I want to be moved out within a certain time frame is so that I can find where, like, my nearest gym is that I would be going to. Find, you know, like, depending on how far away I am from the school, I want to be able to, like, measure on an average day at about the time I'd be leaving, how long is it going to take me to get there, so I can sort of calculate, like, by about this time would be the latest I would have to leave. So, you know, just sort of trying to figure those sorts of things out, finding where my nearest supermarket is, you know, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so a couple of things that I want to try and do, you know, if I'm close enough, I want to sort of walk to school, or like get a bike and ride. You know, trying to work in some exercise into my daily routine, eating better, sleeping better, and hopefully those things will all culminate in helping with the second one, which is my mental and emotional one, which I can't even remember what it was. You know you're doing great when 5 days in, you can't even remember what one of your resolutions was. I think it just sort of comes back to, like, the self-love sort of thing, I think, is what it ended up being. I'm starting to remember, like, small points of how I would have achieved the goal, but I can't actually remember the goal itself. Regardless, I can still kind of explain it, even if I can't put it into words. So basically having, you know, so a little bit of backstory for this particular point, but my aunt used to call my pop at about 5 o'clock every night and have a chat with them, and I would be finishing class at 5:30, so I'm probably going to do the same with my dad at about 6, which is usually when he's sitting down for dinner. So I might just do the same and sit down, have dinner while I'm doing some homework or whatever, headphones in, talking to him, sort of thing. Like, I just sort of, you know, catch up with the day. I think that that'd be a really nice part of my evening routine. And then it's sort of, you know, still engaging with, like, still engaging with my family and having my support network there, so that if I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and, like, whatever, I can be like, hey, like, I can't really go anywhere this weekend, but would one of you guys be able to come down and, like, I don't know, have lunch or something, like, take a weekend and, like, whatever, I don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself and just preempting the worst case scenario, basically, but also knowing that I'd have new friends that I can talk to. I've got the student counsellor I can talk to. I want to see if I can, and I've got to try and organise this soon, but I want to try and see if I can get phone sessions with my current therapist. I really like her, and I've had pretty bad history, all things considered, with therapists, so I'm not so keen to give up a therapist. So I want to try and organise that if it's possible, and it's basically just, yeah, trying to minimise the amount of stress I'm going through, I suppose by being a little bit more open emotionally, I don't know. I think it's just sort of come down to the sorts of friends that I've had, and then like when I'm at home, the tensions at home aren't really ones you want to vent at home, because that's never worked out well for me in the past. So it's going to be a case of when my home stresses aren't family stresses, I can vent them to my family. I think that being more open, I suppose, would be the resolution there. And then for my third one, my spiritual health, it's just being able to more openly practice my faith, practice my beliefs. Yeah, I mean, I've already sort of started setting up a little, like, altar situation over here. I've got a calendar on the wall that shows me when the full moons and new moons are, what sign they're in, approximately what time in Sydney that they will be achieving 100% on those days. It's really great. It's the calendar I showed you guys. So it's really cool. But just being able to like actually set up, like my goblet and my athame, my wand, my pentacle at an altar. I've got a little bowl, little metal bowl sort of thing, that I'm gonna sort of have as like the centerpiece sort of thing, acting as like a little cauldron sort of deal. It's gonna be really cool. I've just got to get some little like god figures, some little Celtic god figures. Would be really cool. And then yeah, that should be kind of cool. But yeah, being able to do all of that would be really nice. And that's my spiritual health resolution. So last but not least is my financials, a little bit of the money ones. Obviously I'm not going to give actual figures here because this is my finances, so I'm going to be very light on details here. But basically, if I can have a certain amount in my bank by the end of the year, that'd be great. Obviously, I've got like I would like this minimum sort of a thing, and anything over that is just a bonus. That is also taking into account that I've got to live in Sydney, so it's not just rent and it's food, it's utilities if they're not included in my rent price, it's insurance, it's transport, it's internet and subscriptions, which can also include memberships to things like the gym, all that sort of stuff. Good fun. So with money going every which way, and then of course I've got to try and make sure I have enough by a certain point in the year to pay for my registration, have I've got to get my car done. I got a message today saying that it's time for my dental checkup. I've got to, like, everyone just wants money right now. Everybody wants money. So it's kind of a fun one to try and dig myself out of. I'm probably gonna work at it, and if we can have money at the end of the year, great. That'd be really nice. So that's as far as funds are concerned. The other two types of financial that I can figure are assets, so like material items other than monetary value that add, that aren't just in your life for it looks pretty reason, like Gengar. it's like, you know, this picture frame, because it holds the picture of my family. You know, so it has value because I'm now able to mount that picture up on a wall and be able to look at it rather than have it just sitting on something. So it's material items that have an extra benefit is sort of the way I look at assets. Like, it's actually an asset to your life, hence its name. So as far as that one's concerned, I obviously need accommodation in Sydney, and I no longer want, need a computer. Obviously I have a particular computer that I want, but I need a laptop that meets certain specifications for my course. So those two things, and I kind of need them before the end of February. So those two things are kind of like, I have to have those. So we will reassess this one in March once I've got them both and I've started studying. It may even be April. Just while I'm sort of like getting into the flow of everything through March. I might reassess in April. It gives me 3 months anyway, so that's like the first quarter. I'm going to reassess in April. I might do a video in April and reassess all of these. And then as far as the third one goes, which is things like Gengar, which are pretty to look at or fun to have, but other than personal enjoyment, they don't add a whole bunch of art and like any extra purpose. Like, they don't have an extra purpose other than being a pretty thing. For me, that's things like stuff that I can put on my altar, or like a Rainbow Mafia flag, or, you know, just room decorating sort of thing, like furnishings basically. I think the only one I can think of that I would really like, not necessary, but kind of does have, like, it would end up being an asset if I got it, which really means that this has, like, I have no resolution for this. If I can get some fun things throughout the year, cool. If I don't, like, there's no loss really. But the only thing I can kind of think of that could kind of fit into this situation is a good quality sleep mask. And I already know exactly which one I want, and I'm just going to be able to buy it. So other than that, it's really just the things on my wish list, which I'm pretty sure I made into a video. Pretty sure it's my Christmas wish list video. Anything off there, and the sleep mask is on there, so it's, yeah. But other than that, I don't really have anything else that could fit into this category. So yeah, those are my financial resolutions. And that's it. That's all I've got for this video. So if you are new, please hit the subscribe button, whatever it is on your device. And right next to it, there's a little notification bell. If you'd be so kind as to give it a good old punch in the face, turns on those push notifications so you can be kept in the know when I upload new videos. If you enjoyed this one, give a big thumbs up, would be really cool as well. Helps me know what kind of content you guys want to see. And yet again, links in the description for the 4 wealths and the tarot spread. And I think that's about everything. So until next time, guys, keep your head screwed on.